What if someone told you there's a place in America where you could buy a house for the price of a used car? Where your monthly rent costs less than most people spend on coffee? Sounds impossible, right? But hidden across Nevada are 10 towns where housing prices are so ridiculously low that people think there's got to be a catch. Spoiler alert, there isn't one. These places are just waiting for someone smart enough to discover them. And by the end of this video, you'll know about a town where the average home price is under $30,000. Yes, you heard that right, $30,000. Most people think Nevada is just Las Vegas casinos and desert wasteland. They're missing out on some of the most affordable living situations in the entire United States. While everyone's fighting over overpriced apartments in big cities, paying $3,000 a month for a studio, these Nevada towns offer something completely different. The crazy part, some of these places have been sitting there for decades, with gorgeous mountain views, clean air, and communities where neighbors actually know each other's names. But because they're not plastered all over social media, most people have no idea they exist. But here's what's really wild, and stay tuned because I'll reveal this later. One of these towns actually pays people to move there. Not kidding, they literally give you money to become a resident. Town 1, Goldfield. Let's start with Goldfield, a place that sounds like it came straight out of a Wild West movie. And honestly, it kind of did. This tiny town sits right in the middle of Nevada, about 3.5 hours northwest of Las Vegas. The population hovers around 200 people, which means you'll know everyone in town within your first month. Here's where it gets interesting. Home prices in Goldfield average around $28,000. $28,000. That's less than most people spend on a new car. You could literally buy a house here with cash, if you've been saving up for a decent vacation. But what makes Goldfield special isn't just the price tag. This place was once the biggest town in Nevada back in the early 1900s, during the gold rush. At its peak, over 20,000 people called Goldfield home. The town had electric lights, telephones, and even an opera house that hosted famous performers from around the world. Today, you can walk down the main street and see the remnants of that golden era. The old courthouse still stands, looking like something from a Western movie set. The historic hotel, though not operating as a hotel anymore, tells stories of when this place was the center of Nevada's universe. Living in Goldfield means you're surrounded by history, but you're also surrounded by some of the most stunning desert landscapes in America. The sunsets here are absolutely incredible, the kind that make you stop whatever you're doing just to watch the sky change colors. The town sits at about 4,600 feet elevation, which means the summers aren't as brutal as you might expect from Nevada desert. Winters can get chilly, but nothing compared to what people deal with in the Midwest or Northeast. Why is it so affordable? Simple, it's remote. The nearest big city is hours away, which means this isn't for everyone. But if you're someone who values peace, quiet, and the kind of community where people look out for each other, Goldfield might be exactly what you've been looking for. Plus, and here's something most people don't know, Goldfield sits along several major mining claims. If you're into rock hounding or geology, this area is basically paradise. People find all kinds of minerals and semi-precious stones just walking around the hill. Town 2, Austin. Moving on to Austin, and no, not the one in Texas. Nevada's Austin is a completely different animal. Located along Highway 50, which some people call the loneliest road in America, Austin sits nestled in the Toyabe Range at about 6,400 feet elevation. The population is around 200 people, making it another place where community actually means something. Home prices here average around $35,000, and rental properties, when you can find them, typically run between $300 to $500 a month. That's less than most people pay for their car payment. Austin has this incredible Old West charm that feels completely authentic, because, well, it is authentic. The town was founded in 1862, when silver was discovered in the nearby hill. Unlike many boom towns that disappeared when the mining played out, Austin managed to survive by adapting and finding new ways to thrive. The main street looks like it hasn't changed much since the 1800s, but in the best possible way. There's the old Gridley store, which has been operating since 1863. The International Hotel, built in 1864, still welcomes guests and serves as a reminder of when Austin was a major stop for travelers crossing Nevada. What makes Austin really special is its location. You're surrounded by the Toyabe National Forest, which means hiking, camping, and outdoor activities are literally at your doorstep. The area is known for excellent hunting and fishing, and the night sky here is absolutely mind-blowing, With almost zero light pollution, you can see the Milky Way so clearly it looks like someone painted it across the sky. The climate is what mountain desert people dream about. Summers are warm, but not oppressive, thanks to the elevation. Winters bring snow, but it's manageable snow that makes the whole area look like a Christmas card. Austin's affordability comes from its remote location and small population. But here's the thing. Remote doesn't mean isolated. The town has internet, cell service, and all the basic amenities you need. It's just that you're living in a place where the pace of life is completely different from what most Americans experience. And here's a bonus. Austin hosts several festivals throughout the year that draw people from all over Nevada. The town comes alive during these events, and it's a great way to meet people and become part of the community town. 3. Eureka. Now let's talk about Eureka, a town that literally calls itself the friendliest town on the loneliest road. That's not just marketing. People who visit Eureka consistently say the residents go out of their way to make newcomers feel welcome. Eureka sits at 5,900 feet elevation in east central Nevada, with a population of around 500 people. It's actually one of the larger towns on our list, but still small enough that you'll know most of your neighbors. Housing prices here average around $45,000 for a decent home, with some fixer-uppers going for as low as $25,000. Rental options exist but are limited, typically ranging from $400 to $700 a month. What sets Eureka apart is how well preserved and maintained everything is. This isn't a ghost town or a place that's falling apart. The town takes pride in its appearance and infrastructure. The courthouse, built in 1879, is still in active use and is considered one of the best examples of Second Empire architecture in Nevada. Eureka's history is fascinating. It was founded during the 1870s silver boom and at one point was producing more silver than any other mining district in the United States. The town had 16 smelters running at full capacity, and the population swelled to over 10,000 people. Today, Eureka offers something really unique: small-town charm with surprising amenities. There's a genuine sense of community here that's hard to find anywhere else. The town has a library, a museum, several restaurants, and even hosts cultural events throughout the year. The surrounding area is outdoor enthusiast heaven. You're close to several wilderness areas, and the fishing and hunting opportunities are exceptional. The Ruby Mountains are within driving distance, offering some of the most spectacular alpine scenery in Nevada. Eureka's climate is what you'd call high desert mountain. Summers are pleasant with cool evenings, and winters bring enough snow to make things pretty but not enough to make life difficult. The air is clean and crisp year-round. Why is it affordable? Location and population. But unlike some of the more remote towns, Eureka has managed to maintain good infrastructure and services. It's affordable because it's not on most people's radar, not because there's anything wrong with town. 4. Alamo. Alamo represents something a bit different on our list. It's what you might call a larger small town, with a population around 4,000 people. That might sound big compared to the others, but trust me, it still qualifies as small town living. What makes Alamo interesting is that housing prices average around $60,000, which is still incredibly affordable by today's standards. But here's the kicker: Alamo actually has amenities. Real amenities. There's a hospital, multiple grocery stores, restaurants, and even some nightlife. Alamo sits at about 6,400 feet elevation in east central Nevada, surrounded by some of the most beautiful mountain ranges in the state. The town serves as a gateway to Great Basin National Park, which means you've got incredible hiking, camping, and sightseeing literally in your backyard. The history here is rich and well preserved. Alamo was a major copper mining center, and you can still take tours of some of the old mining operations. The Nevada Northern Railway Museum offers train rides that show you the stunning local scenery while teaching you about the area's mining heritage. But here's what really makes Alamo special. It's managed to balance small-town charm with modern conveniences. You can get good internet, cell service is reliable, and there are enough businesses that you don't have to drive hours for basic needs. The climate is high desert mountain, similar to other towns on our list. Summers are warm but not oppressive. Winters bring snow but nothing too extreme. The area gets over 300 days of sunshine per year, which is pretty hard to. Alamo affordability comes from several factors. It's relatively remote, though not as remote as some places on our list. The local economy has had to diversify since mining declined, which has kept growth modest, but that also means there are opportunities for people who want to start businesses or get involved in the community. The town has something that's becoming rare in America: a genuine sense of community pride. People here care about their town and work together to make it better. There are community events throughout the year, and newcomers are welcomed with open arms. Town 5, Pioche. Pioche is where things get really interesting. This town has one of the wildest histories in the American West, and today it offers some of the most affordable living you'll find anywhere. Located in southeastern Nevada at about 6,000 feet elevation, Pioche has a population of around 1,000 people. Housing prices average around $38,000, with some properties selling for even less. But let's talk about Pioche's incredible history for a minute, because it's unlike anywhere else. This town was so wild during the 1870s that they say over 70 men were killed in gunfights before the first person died of natural causes. The town's cemetery has a section called Murderer's Row, where many of the troublemakers were buried. Today, Pioche is completely different: peaceful, friendly, and safe. But the historical character remains. You can walk down Main Street and see buildings that date back to the 1800s. The old courthouse, which cost so much to build that it nearly bankrupted the county, still stands as a testament to the town's prosperous mining days. What makes Pioche really special is its location in the highlands of Nevada. The elevation means cooler summers and beautiful snowy winters. You're surrounded by mountains, and the area offers some of the best hiking and outdoor recreation in the state. The town sits near several state parks, including Cathedral Gorge State Park and Kershaw-Ryan State Park. Cathedral Gorge in particular is absolutely stunning. It's got these incredible rock formations that look like something from another planet. Pioche's affordability comes from its remote location and small population. But remote doesn't mean cut off from the world. The town has good basic services, and Las Vegas is about 3 hours away if you need big city amenities. One thing that makes Pioche attractive is the sense of history everywhere you look. It's like living in a museum, except the museum is your neighborhood. For history buffs or people who appreciate authentic Western heritage, Pioche offers something you simply can't find in modern subdivisions. The community here is tight-knit and welcoming. People tend to look out for each other, and there's still a strong tradition of neighbors helping neighbors. It's the kind of place where you might borrow a cup of sugar from someone and end up staying for dinner. Town 6, Caliente. Caliente offers something unique on our list. It's a town that's actively working to attract new residents, and they're succeeding in maintaining their small-town character while offering modern amenities. Located in southeastern Nevada, with a population around 1,100 people, Caliente sits at about 4,400 feet elevation. Housing prices average around $55,000, which is still incredibly affordable, especially considering what you get for your money. Caliente's history is tied to the railroad. The town was founded in 1901 as a railroad division point, and the beautiful Spanish Mission-style depot still stands as the centerpiece of downtown. The depot now serves as a museum and community center, hosting events throughout the year. What sets Caliente apart is how well-maintained everything is. The town has invested in its infrastructure and appearance. Downtown looks clean and inviting, with several local businesses and restaurants. There's even a decent hotel for visitors, which tells you something about the town's confidence in its appeal. The surrounding area is outdoor paradise. Caliente sits near several wilderness areas and offers easy access to hiking, fishing, hunting, and camp. The Meadow Valley Wash runs through the area, creating a green corridor through the desert that supports wildlife and provides beautiful scenery. But here's what's really interesting about Caliente. The town has fiber optic internet. That might not sound like a big deal, but for a small Nevada town, having high-speed internet opens up possibilities for remote work and online businesses that many rural areas simply can't support. The climate is high desert, but the elevation keeps summers from being too brutal. Winters are mild with occasional snow. The area gets plenty of sunshine but also has enough elevation to avoid the extreme heat of lower desert areas. Caliente's affordability stems from its size and location, but the town has worked hard to maintain its appeal. They've struck a good balance between preserving their small-town character and adapting to modern needs. The community spirit here is strong. The town hosts several annual events, including a car show and various festivals. There's a real sense that people are working together to make Caliente a great place to live. Town 7, Alamo. Alamo represents small-town Nevada living at its finest. With a population of around 1,000 people, this town offers affordable housing, beautiful scenery, and a genuinely welcoming community. Located in southeastern Nevada at about 3,400 feet elevation, Alamo sits in the Pahranagat Valley, which is known for its natural springs and lush vegetation. Unusual in Nevada's desert environment, housing prices in Alamo average around $42,000, with rental properties typically running between $400 and $600 monthly. For what you get, space, privacy, and natural beauty, these prices are almost unbelievable. Alamo's setting is what really makes it special. The Pahranagat Valley is an oasis in the Nevada desert, fed by natural springs that create wetlands and support diverse wildlife. The area is a designated National Wildlife Refuge, which means you're living adjacent to protected natural habitat. This creates opportunities you won't find in most places. Birdwatching is exceptional here, with over 200 species recorded in the refuge. The fishing is excellent, and the hiking opportunities are endless. For photographers, the combination of desert landscapes, water features, and wildlife creates incredible shooting opportunities. The town itself has a genuine small-town feel. People know each other, kids can walk or bike everywhere safely, and there's still a strong tradition of community involvement. The local school serves as a community center for many activities and events. Alamo's history is tied to both ranching and mining, and you can still see evidence of both throughout the area. Some of the old ranch buildings and mining structures have been preserved and add to the area's character. The climate is high desert, but the presence of water and vegetation moderates temperatures somewhat. Summers are warm but nights cool down nicely. Winters are mild with minimal snowfall. The area gets over 300 days of sunshine annually. Why is Alamo so affordable? Location and population size, primarily, but also because it's never been heavily marketed or developed. The town has maintained its authentic character, which appeals to people looking for real small-town living. One thing that surprises visitors is how clean and well-maintained everything looks. This isn't a rundown rural area. It's a community that takes pride in its appearance and works to maintain its appeal. Town 8 Rachel. This town is famous for one particular reason. It's the closest town to Area 51, and it has fully embraced that identity. Rachel has a population of around 50 people, making it one of the smallest places on our list. But don't let the size fool you. This town has character and space. Housing options are limited but incredibly affordable when available. Properties that do come up for sale typically range from $20,000 to $40,000. Rental options are rare but usually very reasonably priced. Rachel sits at about 4,700 feet elevation in central Nevada, surrounded by desert mountains and wide open spaces. The landscape here is pure high desert, stark, beautiful, and seemingly endless. The town's claim to fame is the Little Alalin, a restaurant and motel that caters to UFO enthusiasts and curious tourists from around the world. The whole town has embraced the Area 51 connection, with alien-themed decorations and business. But beyond the UFO tourism, Rachel offers something really unique, almost complete solitude in some of the darkest night skies in America. For stargazing, this place is absolutely incredible. With virtually no light pollution for hundreds of miles, the night sky here looks like nothing most people have ever seen. Living in Rachel means embracing isolation in the best possible way. You're far from crowds, traffic, and the silence here is so complete it can be overwhelming for people used to city life. But for those who crave peace and quiet, Rachel offers it in abundance. The climate is high desert mountain. Summers are warm during the day but cool at night. Winters can be cold and sometimes snowy, but the area gets incredible amounts of sunshine year-round. Rachel's affordability comes from its extreme remoteness and tiny population. This definitely isn't for everyone. You need to be comfortable with isolation and self-sufficient. But for the right person, Rachel offers a lifestyle that's becoming impossible to find anywhere else in America. The community, small as it is incredibly tight-knit. People look out for each other because they have to. When you're hours from the nearest big town, neighbors become essential. Town 9 Manhattan. Manhattan, Nevada, is not what most people expect when they hear the name. This tiny town sits in the mountains of central Nevada and offers some of the most affordable mountain living you'll find anywhere in America. With a population of around 30 people, Manhattan is essentially a neighborhood where everyone knows everyone. Housing prices, when properties become available, typically range from $15,000 to $35,000. Manhattan sits at about 7,300 feet elevation in the Toquima Range, which means genuine mountain living with incredible views, clean air, and 4 distinct seasons. The town was founded during a gold rush in the early 1900s, and many of the original buildings still stand. It's like stepping back in time, except you can still get internet and cell service. What makes Manhattan special is its setting in the mountain. You're surrounded by wilderness areas, with hiking, hunting, and fishing opportunities literally everywhere. The elevation means cool summers and snowy winters, a completely different experience from desert living. The area is known for excellent rock hounding and mineral collecting. The hills around Manhattan have produced gold, silver, and various semi-precious stones for over a century. For geology enthusiasts, this area is basically paradise. Manhattan's extreme affordability comes from its tiny population and remote mountain location. But remote doesn't mean primitive. The area has basic services and infrastructure. It's affordable because it's never been developed or marketed heavily. The sense of community here is intense because it has to be. When your nearest neighbors might be the only people for miles, relationships matter. People tend to be self-sufficient but also generous with help when needed. The climate is true mountain climate. Warm summers with cool nights, cold winters with snow, and incredible beauty in all seasons. For people who love mountain living but can't afford places like Colorado or Montana, Manhattan offers a real alternative. Town 10, Contact. Finally, we reach Contact. And this is where that promise from the beginning pays off. Contact is the town that actually offers incentives for people to move there. Contact sits right on the Nevada-Idaho border with a population of around 10 people. Yes, 10 people. Properties here can sometimes be found for under $20,000, and the town actively encourages new residents. But here's the really interesting part. Contact sits in an area that's been designated for potential development, which means early residents might benefit from future growth while enjoying incredibly low current cost. Contact is located at about 5,400 feet elevation in northern Nevada, surrounded by mountains and high desert landscape. The area offers incredible outdoor opportunities including hunting, fishing, hiking, and off-road recreation. The town's extreme affordability comes from its tiny size and remote location, but it's positioned along major transportation routes, which gives it potential for future development. What makes Contact unique is the opportunity to essentially be a founding resident of a community. With so few current residents, newcomers have the chance to help shape what the town becomes. The climate is high desert mountain, with 4 seasons and plenty of sunshine. Summers are warm but not oppressive, and winters bring snow and cold but nothing too extreme. Living in Contact means embracing true frontier living. You need to be self-sufficient and comfortable with isolation, but you also get to experience something few Americans ever will: life in a genuine frontier community. Nevada's hidden towns represent something increasingly rare in America. Places where average people can afford to own property, build community connections, and live close to incredible natural beauty. While everyone else fights over overpriced real estate in crowded cities, these communities sit quietly waiting for people smart enough to discover them. They're not perfect for everyone, but for the right people, they offer lifestyle and financial benefits that are becoming impossible to find elsewhere. The best part? Most of these places are still undiscovered by the mass. Property prices remain low, communities remain authentic, and opportunities still exist for people who want something different from the typical American living situation. Whether you're looking for retirement destinations, remote work locations, or just escape from expensive urban living, Nevada's secret towns offer possibilities worth considering. The question isn't whether these places are right for everyone. They're not. The question is whether they might be right for you. Subscribe for more hidden gems like these.